Dwight David Eisenhower. Son. Can make anyone more sound more awesome by following their name up with son.
Saying it with some soul.
Yep. Yeah, Soviets are in like full retreat across most of the front here. Afghanistan is neutral, so we won't have to lengthen our front there. Looks like the UK is still kind of bogged down fighting this Japanese pocket and the Soviet pocket here, but they should be able to handle it. Don't make us turn this invasion order around. These guys don't know what their plan is here. Rocket artillery upgrade. Got a nice little army here. How's our construction going? Still building factories, still building nuclear reactors, still expanding infrastructure. All good things. Got a lot of damaged stuff in the occupied territories that we need to fix. Push continues. Coming up on the Aral Sea. Some bodies of water that no longer exist in 2016, unfortunately. Actually, I should have Patton's army meet up with our other guys in this province. Make sure you guys know what you're doing. There we go. Jeez, it takes a long time to march across Siberia. This game really does give you a sense of scale because the clock moves so much slower than like EU4 that you're like,
does
damn,
indeed.
The world is pretty big. It's a large place. A large place.
We're set up to clean up because Germany is going to break right about when we get there.
The Kiwis have taken Munich and are on the outskirts of Salzburg.
Yeah, I think Britain, France, and New Zealand
freaking Zealand
might clean up the Western Front before we get there. Germany is collapsing right now.
In a way,
although it looks like the Scandinavians are starting to really fall apart too.
Let's see. Well, they've lost.
That is quite a bit of progress.
Norway has lost a single province. The Swedes have lost a few, but it's not like Stockholm is in danger or anything at this point. Oh, actually, the Soviets have taken the Åland Islands. So
we are going to free the smaller countries that the Soviets have assimilated.
Yes. As long as they're democratic.
We're going to break them up, install democracies, and make Russia
any of them that did not already have democracies will be democratic. Because we are crusaders for democracy.
In fact, we can only hope that we can join the war with Germany in time. It looks like there's a real chance that Germany will be defeated by the time we get there.
Well, France is kind of bogged down. They're still hanging on to Paris stubbornly. Italy still has Naples and Palermo, so they're not out of the game yet. They've also managed to hold on to their African possessions. By the way, this is a division that was sent to us by Canada that is apparently under our control. So we're going to go ahead and take Tripoli, because
why not?
I just realized that was a thing. So the Canucks take Tripoli. The Italians are trying to counterattack against them. It's not going well. Yeah, that's just... They're doing their best. I can't sing the Marine Corps song because it's being taken by Canadians, not Americans, but... there we go. So that was just a little nice thing to happen. In terms of our progress, Siberia is big. .jpg. Eisenhower is still slowly but surely advancing. We could probably send some more troops.
Can we send
from
an
the home
army to
front.
Crimea or Europe? We
Let's
could,
see.
but why?
Yeah, I'm not really wanting to open up the European front just because I kind of would like Germany to still be a threat by the time we get there, so we can have a good fight against them and not just invade them simultaneously from the other direction.
Because we're about to go into 47, y'all. Like when these wars are over, the game will probably end.
We're coming up on the end of it. We'll probably finish this campaign today, in all likelihood.
So, I'd imagine an hour or two after lunch, actually.
Yeah. So yeah. Are we closing this pocket here? Cool. Just the slow, inevitable advance of democracy. Alright, cool. So now that we're not producing a bazillion divisions of troops at a time, our manpower is actually rebounding. So we might not even have to pass a stricter conscription law. Look at this. These guys have, they've made one province worth of progress. There's no roads or anything. I guess we don't really need to keep expanding infrastructure, but I'm going to do it anyway. I like the idea that we're bringing democracy and roads to the world. Bump, 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 bump. Bump it up. Democracy and interstate highways and traffic tickets.
Just a question. What's the purpose of puppeting a country?
It basically makes them like your vassal if you played EU4 or Crusader Kings. So you have total control over their foreign policy. They have to join you in wars. They can't declare wars of their own. So they basically become an extension of your country, but you don't have direct control over their armies or production. Look at that! Oh, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. That is 18 Soviet divisions that are going to get completely overrun. In addition to these ones that are also going to be overrun because they have nowhere to retreat to.
And that probably ends the Soviet threat, actually, right
there.
there.
That was... I wonder how many men that was. I should have checked before the attack. So it's the Soviet-Turkish War. They've lost 3.5 million. We've lost around 70,000. How many people do we lose in Vietnam?
About 74, actually.
Okay.
So we're about to Vietnam.
So it's getting there. This is getting close to equating to the bloodiest real-world foreign conflict in U.S. history. Civil War is still the bloodiest overall.
Yeah, and we lost more in World War II than we lost in Vietnam. We lost about 300K in World War II.
That's true.
310, I think.
You are right.
Yeah.
So I guess Vietnam wasn't the bloodiest. It was just the...
Vietnam does take...
ugliest.
I'm very sure Vietnam takes a sterling third place in that list, though.
Yeah.
That unfortunate, horrible list.
Yeah. Alright. Gonna be able to go on vacation in the... one of these is the Aral Sea, and then one of them is called something else. I can't think of... Okay, this is the Caspian, and this is the Aral. Yeah. There we go.
You know, it's funny, even when you say numbers that large on a casualty list, it's hard to even fathom. It's hard
to
conceptualize.
Okay, we've closed off that pocket. Patton's still advancing stubbornly. Marines are doing what they can.
Oh, the USSR is done.
Yeah,
this is over.
This is... They're actually holding very stubbornly against Germany, partly because Britain is now... The Allies are now, trying to cut Germany off and almost forming a shield for the USSR, which they're going to get pincered and run out of supplies really easily. That's not very smart. Hungary has been liberated from someone. Maybe Britain. I don't know.
Yeah, the Allies have won this war. That much can be determined.
It's because the Soviets decided to declare war on everyone at once. Same mistake Germany made in real life. Democracy.
If you're gonna shoot at the king, make sure you don't miss.
I really bums that our units have not been gaining veterancy at the rate I would expect them to. Like in my previous campaigns, my units that had been fighting for this long had like freaking skulls on their rank symbols because they had so much experience. But I guess the proportion of casualties we've been taking and the proportion of reinforcements we've been having to bring in to fill them has outpaced our experience growth, even though we have field hospitals. What do we need more of? Infantry equipment. We're running a deficit. We probably also have a supply or resource problems. Let's add another line of infantry equipment. Let's add in 2 more. Just any free factories we have, put them towards that. We have a good stockpile. We still have a lot of people using weapons too. A lot of motorized divisions that need to be upgraded to mechanized, and we're missing a lot of towed artillery. Are we producing towed artillery? Because I think I might have killed that production line. No, we're still making towed artillery. Which, by the way, we now have advanced artillery, so that's been a big waste of time to be producing all that. Pretty soon we'll have rocket artillery. Alright. Siberia is big. These guys aren't standing still. It just takes like a year for to move to the next province. And we have reached the banks of the Aral Sea. Pretty soon we will be liberating northern territories of allied Iraq and Iran. Turkey's fending for themselves perfectly well. Because let me tell you, I played a game where I tried to invade Turkey from the Asian side. It is not a fun time.
It's one of the reasons
it's a giant pain in the ass.
Be real, man. It's one of the reasons why Turkey survived Russia over multiple wars.
Yeah.
Is because there's just no easy way to get in them and beat them.
I mean, you can attack across the Bosphorus through
look
Constantinople.
You know the meaning behind the phrase "the sick man of Europe," right?
Yeah.
In World War I, like of all the major significant powers to fight in World War I, Turkey was probably indisputably the weakest. There's even an argument that they were weaker than Serbia in terms of battlefield success. But the Allies, Britain, France, some Anzacs, trying to invade through Gallipoli, the Dardanelles, they failed.
Mm-hmm.
Like a massive naval invasion by the vastly superior UK, and the Turkish beat them back. It was one of the worst defeats the Entente suffered in the entire war. And Turkey did it more or less alone.
Yep.
As the weakest power involved. So it goes to show they're not easy to get out of there when they're playing on their own turf.
Alright, I'm gonna ship out some more troops. This will probably be our last major deployment. We probably don't need them, but we can definitely use their help. For Eisenhower's Supreme Command. We might also break out some smaller armies, like make a mountaineer army for crossing the Urals. Would probably be in our best interest. Man. Reorganized Nationalist China has capitulated. That's the Japanese-Chinese puppet state. Got a lot of tanks. We got to get these tanks to the front. I might actually put Patton in charge of a new army of just tanks. Alright, and then I want to leave MacArthur with a good amount of stuff to help out on the home front. We'll assign them to Kruger. Strategic redeployment. And
Gosh, even talking about the Dardanelles campaign, we're making Kiwi jokes, as they continue to wreck Italy's world and push into southern Germany. The Anzacs are studs.
They're really some of the most impressive military units to read about of any era.
Like their heroism in just the campaign I was even talking about in the Gallipoli campaign is pretty staggering.
Yeah,
disproportionately.
They executed cavalry charges against machine gun nests. that takes some brass ones.
Just studs.
Yeah.
Just studs.
Okay.
And you know I lived in New Zealand for a year. 2010 actually was that year.
Yep.
It warms my heart to see how much they honor that heritage. A lot of monuments, a lot of cultural appreciation for those triumphs. It was really cool to see. They're very proud of it, as they should be.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm liking the new United States borders here. That's nice to see that.
I think the U.S. might be just about, if not already, ready to take the spot of largest empire ever assembled.
I think we probably are a global hegemony beyond what we actually achieved in the 20th century at this point. Let's take a look. We can actually. So naval equipment. We have 12 aircraft carriers, 9 of which are our upgraded midway classes, the all the way class, not just midway, all the way. How many have we lost? That's an interesting thing. We've lost the USS Litchfield, a single battleship, or no, was it a single destroyer, to the Japanese battleship Musashi in the coast of Japan in 1945. That's it. That's the only boat that has been sunk. I mean, we've lost convoy transports to the U-boats, but
I didn't know this. I did not know that the 25th of April, the date of the landing in the Dardanelles, is known as Anzac Day.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep.
I knew that April 25th was Anzac Day. I did not know that that was commemorating the Dardanelles Strait landing. You learn something every day.
You do. Today we're learning that it's not a good idea to leave a unit of motorized infantry by itself in Siberia when you're completely surrounded by American Marines.
Not remotely a good idea.
Jet engines. Got 'em. It's time for some Danger Zone. P-80 Shooting Star. Previous increases in speed pale in comparison to the introduction of the first jet fighters. While we've yet to learn how to best construct planes for these engines, regular fighter planes cannot compete. Highway to the Danger Zone.
Gonna get right into the
Danger Zone. I had to do a reprise of our 80s rock from yesterday.
Kenny Loggins called.
Yeah.
The Danger Zone. I love Archer so much. That's one of the best shows on television.
Archer is a great television show. Oh, we can also get the B-45 Tornado bombers. That'll be that'll give us a nice long range to drop some atomic fire on Stalin. If Moscow is even a thing by the time we get there.
It's not. It looks like the Russians are actually rolling the Germans back as the Germans suffer in the south.
Yeah, that's true. They still hold Smolensk. Leningrad has not fallen. And they are slowly but surely pushing through Scandinavia. Which could potentially change things. If they can close off the front with Scandinavia, they would have a lot more troops to throw against us. I don't know that it would stop us in our tracks, but it would definitely make a difference. I'm actually going to micromanage this armor division to just sweep around here. No, wait, I want them to go here, 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 double back, and then take this airfield and close that off. Of course, our single armor division attacking into the mountains does not look like they're going to be as effective as I was hoping it would be. Oh yeah, they've got Mikhail Tukhachevsky, he's actually a very good general. Fast planner and has offensive and defensive doctrine. Level 6 versus Eisenhower's 5. Which 5 is nothing to sniff at, so 6 is really good.